Hello and welcome to this unboxing of a Waidzeit, and straight away I'm going to say other and better pronunciations are available brand wristwatch. As you can see from the box it comes in, this is an Austrian brand. It comes in this rather attractive birch plywood box with the logo and the brand name laser pyroed into the front, and on this particular model a line drawing of a ship and the name of the ship is Waidzeit, for reasons that will become apparent very soon. So let's open this up and see what we have. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this video is, having chosen to buy this watch, I found there's very little information about it online and certainly very little on YouTube, so I wanted to add to the body of evidence, so to speak. So this is the instruction leaflet. It is in German and French and English. German, French and English. Perfectly simple little thing. And now here is the main feature. We'll just let that come into focus. There we go. The first thing you'll probably notice, beyond the fact that it has an open heart watch dial with a viewing window at 9 o'clock, is that it is a largely wooden constructed watch. Somewhat unusual. The timbers on this watch, or the wood on this watch I should say, came from timbers from the salvaged ship the Waidzeit. That's why this construction diagram or construction drawing from 1919 features on the box, on the watch face and on the instructions, and doubtless we'll see it elsewhere in due course. So let's take this out of the packaging. We've got some accessories with it. Let's grab all of that. Nothing else in there. So the presentation with the box and this woven fabric soft pillow is very nice. We also get a second strap with it. This feels kind of suede, fabric and suede. It says handmade in Deutschland, so a German watch. And one thing about this brand identity, or the brand integrity if you will, I'm just going to turn the autofocus off if you'll excuse me a second, is they do endeavour to source materials from their local area. They're made in the Alpine region of Austria, so they tend to, Germany's just over the border there, they tend to use locally sourced materials. So this is the watch face, very simple plain design, very clean. We can see a simple blue anodized crown. The steel parts also in blue anodized material. I'm just trying to see, I think there's a few specks of dust. I just wondered if there might have been a little nick in the material, but I don't think there is. Obviously it's a mechanical watch, we can see the open heart there. Let's take a look at the back of this. We can see that it has an exhibition case at the back. This is a Seiko movement, I believe it's an MH38, so it's a reliable, if pedestrian, movement. If your interest in wristwatches is sort of high horology, if you have a Philippe Patek and a Rolex and so forth, this may not be the watch for you. But if, like myself, you're just an average chap in the street that wants a nice, vaguely unusual watch, this might appeal. Price wise, this came in, the recommended retail price I can tell you is £399. In Europe it's €399, so already in the UK we're paying a little more than they are in Europe. I bought it weirdly from a retailer that is a shopping channel, one of these things you might come across on the higher numbers of Freeview and that sort of thing. They had an introductory offer that brought it down to around about £330. Having ordered it, and long before it was dispatched, that same retailer then started running a promotion across their entire business of an extra 10% off. So I ended up actually paying around £30 more than perhaps I could have done. But let's not worry too much about that. Although they say this is a wooden case, it is obviously backed with a very large steel part. It's runs all the way under the case and holds the strap lugs in place. This is a screw down back of some kind. I'm just going to brighten that up a little bit. There we go. So whether that's truly a wood case or whether it's a hybrid steel and wood construction is something for you to debate yourself. I've just noticed on the crown it's got the Waidzeit logo, or the Waidzeit W there. All the steel parts on this are anodised blue. The feel and look of the wood is very nice. It's got a steel clasp. That seems to work okay. A little bit of play in that, but I guess that's reasonable for a watch at this sort of price range. I suspect that if your interest in timepieces is sort of high horology and the exclusive brand names, the Rolex, the Petites and so forth, this might not appeal quite so much. But for me, for a watch at around about £300 to wear at the office, if I'm meeting friends for lunch, maybe at a barbecue, something of that nature, I think this is quite a nice thing to have. It may not be the ultimate in high horology. The movement, I don't know if I mentioned, is a Seiko, so I'm expecting it to be reliable, but at the same time it's unremarkable. People that are interested in, for want of a better expression, high horology might say, well, why would you have an exhibition back when what you're exhibiting is actually a mass-produced, unremarkable movement? And I can sort of understand their point of view, but at the same time, any mechanical watch, any automatic watch, it is nice to see the cogs whir around and the springs going there and the rotor moving. It's a nice thing. Now again, that line drawing of the ship does feature on the rotor arm. I don't know how well you can see it there. I think given the rotor arm is such a big chunk of the window, it would have been nice had it been perhaps a little more decorated. But again, we're talking about a £300 or £400 watch, not a £3,000 or £4,000 watch. So let's take a look at what's in the accessories. Let's start with this heavy one. So a couple of items here. So this is my limited edition certificate. Which I'll leave you to read. And as we can see, it's number 77 out of 220 in the blue colour. There is also a version of this where the steel parts are black, and there is some gold plating on those black watches. So there's 222 blue and 222 black. As far as limited edition certification goes, that's pretty cool. I don't know if this material was salvaged from the boat or if it's virgin material. It's certainly very nice. This piece of copper was definitely salvaged from the boat, so this again is a recycle, or as Waidzeit say, upcycled item. Now it certainly has the patina of a boat that sank twice, and that just adds, I think, to the integrity of the item. If it was a shiny piece of new copper like you might have bought for your central heating system from the DIY store, it wouldn't have quite the attraction. This again is that construction line drawing, but owing to the heavily patinaed nature of the material, it's not showing out too well there. But there we go, that's quite a nice little thing. And finally we have this other little packet. So we have spare watch links, spare pins, and 2 small screwdrivers with which to change that. I suspect I will have to take a link out of this, and I can, because I've got the tool to do it, so that's fine. Just as I look at this, and I'm reminded of something I saw during the presentation on the television. Yeah, there we go. The chap on the telly had this tool, this little, I guess it's a screwdriver, which appeared to be kind of a machined metal part. I was rather expecting that to be somewhere in this package, but there's the 2 little plastic handle screwdrivers. This is a pin pusher, for want of a better expression, or pin driver. That's not in the package, so that is fractionally disappointing, but not to worry. So anyway, there it is, the Waidzeit Svetdonen automatic wristwatch. I quite like it. It's a 42mm case. There is another YouTube channel called The Urban Gentry, which is an excellent YouTube channel, and I strongly recommend it. A couple of days ago, just before my watch was delivered, the chap that runs that channel put out a video. He does one every year, 10 watches not to buy in the year 2022 in this case, and he said watches that follow fads that don't age well are worth avoiding. And he specifically mentioned, do you remember the fad for wooden watches of a couple of years ago? And went on to be somewhat critical of wooden watches. Now, his passion, his interest is in the finest that the world of horology has to offer. This is merely a good quality, reliable workaday watch. So this may not be his sort of thing. Now, there were a lot of wristwatches, and there still are a lot of wooden and wooden-themed wristwatches, which use cheap movements, made in unknown locations, and have no integrity, no brand qualities to them. This watch, being Austrian, having vaguely environmentally friendly credentials, using upcycled material from an already 100-year-old ship, I think this is certainly a step above some of the, let's say, fashion watches that we see that have, you know, unknown wood content from unknown manufacturers. But I accept that this isn't probably going to be a watch that appeals to fans of high horology. If, incidentally, you like the general aesthetic of this, with the wooden case, the wooden strap, but you don't really want to spend £300 or £400 on one, which would be understandable, Waidzeit also make the same watch actually as a non-limited edition. I suppose you'd call it a regular edition, without the engraving of the boat. That's about £300 at RRP, and they do a number of quartz watches, again using a Japanese movement, starting from about £130. So if you're not interested in the story behind the ship or having an automatic movement, but you want the aesthetic, you can certainly acquire that for relatively low amount of money, and I think that's a very good value proposition. Also, if you like the idea of a wooden link watch strap, and you have a smartwatch, an iWatch in particular, Zeitgeist also make wooden linked watches for smartwatches. I should point out that the other watches in the range, the non-limited edition watches, the wood is upcycled from wine, whiskey, gin, rum barrels, rather than from, in this case, a ship. So again, it's a recyclable, upcycled material, but not quite as unique as the Sweet Darren that we have here. I do take a slight issue with Waidzeit with their iWatch strap, in that they claim that this is an environmentally friendly material or an environmentally friendly product because it's been recycled or upcycled, and it's a second life for the material they've made it from, all of which is perfectly true. However, if you are concerned about the environment and you've bought a smartwatch, it already had a strap. So if you want the look, the fashion, the style of the wooden strap, I see no reason not to go for it. If you've broken your strap, it's a perfectly reasonable replacement. But to take the original functioning strap and throw it into landfill to replace it with a recycled material strap, I'm not sure that necessarily qualifies as environmentally friendly. It's a small bit of a pedantic point that I'll take issue with. Other than that, I think it's all rather lovely. Thank you for watching. I hope this video hasn't gone on for too long. Because I couldn't find any videos about this brand online, I just thought I would make this video, and hopefully it will be of interest or help to somebody. All the best.